Hey everyone, welcome. In this lecture, we are going to talk about how we can access custom metadata types using static methods. So far, before Spring 21, what we were doing is we were kind of making the SOQL queries over custom metadata type, get all these. And whenever we were making the SOQL queries, we must need to specify the field names, what all fields we wanted to have. So again, in future, if you wanted to add some additional fields, or if you wanted to remove some fields, we again need to go ahead and modify that Apex class wherever the SOQL query is being made for custom metadata type. After Spring 21 method, like after Spring 21 updates, we have got kind of four methods which we can have, which we can just go ahead and get a kind of value with the help of static method. So there is one method which is kind of get all, which is going to return the map of string and object. It is not an id, that's why I have just corrected over here. And then we have got get instance. There are three types of get instance method over here with the three different signatures. One is you can send the record id, which is again not recommended way to send the record id for any for getting the custom metadata, because somehow we might need to know the record id. But we will see, we can pass the record id and it is going to return the s object, and s object will be your custom metadata. We can also send the qualified api name or the developer api name in order to again get the s object, and which will again be going to be your custom metadata type. So let's quickly see how we can do this over a demo inside our Salesforce Apex org. So I have a custom metadata called connected app enabler, and under that connected app enabler, I have got one record named where label is SFDC Panther, connected app enabler name, which is going to be my qualified API name as well as developer name, and this is the connected app, again a new field. These are the two custom field, connected app and users. We are going to see how we can access this without making a SOQL query. And then after, we will try to create a new field under this connected app enabler. And then we also going to see how that our particular code which we have written is going to fetch that field as well without making any changes in the particular Apex code which we have developed for getting this connected app data. Not connected app, the custom metadata. So I have got a class which is CM utility. I will be sharing with you all. So here you can see there is a method called before. I can just change it to before Spring 21. We were doing the query like this: ID, master label, and then all the fields which we had. Like I have already got few fields like developer name, qualified API name, whatever the fields we wanted to have. We must need to put over the SOQL query to get the data for those particular metadata what we have. Now after Spring 21, whatever we are got, like whatever the method we have got, these are after Spring 21. Like we have get all, we have already seen it is going to return map of string, and then it is going to return whatever the metadata record you have got against that string. So this string will be your developer qualified API name, or you can also say that developer name. So we will see one by one, which is get all. So let's quickly execute this method over here. I have got get all. I'm going to remove whatever the parameter I had passed earlier, because I didn't have any parameter for this particular method. Go ahead, execute this, and we will be able to see all the metadata records for that particular custom metadata types. We have only one, so we will be able to see one, which is label. So basically the key is going to be your label, sorry, key is going to be your developer API name, as I said, and this is your value, connected app metadata, and you are going to get the complete information about that connected application. So that is one. We are just going to go ahead and create one more metadata type over here. And the reason is that I just wanted to show you that we can have multiple metadata things. So I'm just going to say that test and go ahead and click on save. So now we have got two records for this metadata called connected app enabler. Go ahead, execute this again. And this time we will be able to see the two records under using that get all methods. And then we can just go ahead and use whatever we want. So this is one called SFDC underscore Panther. And then we have got the second, which is called test. So that's how you can use this. And then you can also kind of go ahead and if you wanted to have a for loop over here, you can just go ahead say that whatever the metadata you have got enabler and then you got the map, you can just go ahead and say that whatever the values you have got. Or if you wanted to get the name just to query on the connected applications, you can just get the developer name and then query on based on the developer name or qualified API. So this was about get all method. Now we have got get instance. There are three variants for this. One is passing the record ID. Second is passing the label, which is again qualified API name or the developer name. So I have got two of them over here because this is going to be again same. And by label instead of I can say that developer API name or we say that developer name. So this is the record ID of one of my custom metadata record which is already there present inside my connected application enabler. I can just go ahead and execute this local query and I will be able to see that I have got two records. I wanted to have the detail about this which is test. I will just go ahead comment out this line so that we can see the whatever the ID we are passing. Again, this is never recommended, not by Salesforce. Even I am not going to recommend you to use this record ID. I'll always say go ahead and use the developer name. So now we wanted to have get instance with this record ID. So we'll just use this method called get instance and we will execute this. Again, we will see the debug log with the details about whatever the ID we have provided. So let's see the debug log. We got here label, whatever the ID we have provided, and the values like users, we haven't anything, connected app, we haven't. That was about get instance, which is receiving the record ID. Now we have got get instance by developer name. I can just go ahead change the method. Developer name one is test, one is SFDC underscore Panther. I'm going to show you both over here in one go. So we'll say that SFDC underscore Panther, and then we will also do one negative testing. Just go ahead, click on execute, and once this is executed, see the debug log, and we will be able to see the debug log this time for both. One is for test, one is for SFDC Panther, where we have got some users. We have also got the connected application as well, which is SFDC Panther. So that is how you can use this developer name. You can also provide the qualified API name, which is going to be most of the cases it is going to be same. Again, if it is different, you can just go ahead and make a query or developer console and try to get the value and then use that value. Again, don't use that value hard coded over here. Like here, you can just go ahead and put say that test. Always try to use in a dynamic way, like creating a custom label and then reference that custom label over here inside your method. So in future, if you wanted to change, you can just go ahead and change the label. Your class is going to be as it is. Your class is going to remain same without making further changes. That is what about the positive test. What negative test is like here, if I say, if I make this like this, if I say I just wanted to get the metadata where it is limit 1, some sort of I can put somewhere master label is some random value over here I can put. So what Socal does, it gives you the error. Let's see what error we will get. Okay, so I'm just going to remove this. The first second method we don't need, and this doesn't takes any parameter. We'll go ahead execute. You can see it is the giving us a query exception. List has no rows for assignment to S object. That's why for the safer side, usually we use a kind of list and then we check if the list is not null and then we go ahead. After getting this static method, after Spring 21 update, we have got no need to worry about this. So if I send this, if I send this value and I will say that or whatever the value I wanted to pass, I can just go ahead and pass this without getting any error. Not get any error. We will just get the null value and then we can put an if check. If the value is not null, we can just proceed. Otherwise, we can just return our or we can break our code from there as well. Uh, we can just throw some exceptions or we can do whatever we want. Log some data to the logger object, anything which you want to have. So that's all about this video, and thank you for your time again to watching this video. And then uh, in the next video, we are going to talk about again a very important updates, which is fields method inside our SQL queries. So I will meet you into the next lecture. Thank you.